Ladies and gentlemen, I often struggle with the idea of becoming famous, right? Now, many of you will look at my channel as it speaks, be like, 7,000 subscribers, Doc? Come on now, bro. Actually, 6,900 and some change. Doc, come on now. Famous? Far from it. But I am often under the ideology that I am one viral video away from becoming a household name. And again, that could happen for anybody. But again, I often struggle with the idea of becoming famous or, being known for my YouTube videos because, as many of you guys know, I'm a super private person. I like to be able to go out with my wife. I like to be able to, enjoy time with the family and stuff and go out, do dinners and stuff like that and have fun and be with the family. But the idea of somebody walking up to me and running up to me while I'm actually trying to enjoy time with family, it makes me uncomfortable, right? It does. It genuinely makes me uncomfortable. But I make these videos because I like them. It's therapeutic. I get I do a brain dump. I keep it pushing, right? I'm also scared to become famous because at the end of the day, I am one viral video away from becoming famous, but also one viral video away from being canceled at the exact same time. Right? I know I've said some shit in my back catalog that if you find it and you really want to cancel me, I'm pretty sure you will be successful at it. Look, man, I'm a human being. I say what I say. I do what I do. I keep it pushing. But what comes with fame, ladies and gentlemen, is a small group of people. Probably you know them, you don't know them, but they're known as groupies. Right? And I'm only using that term because I think it's a term that we can all recognize, right? A group of young ladies or men that are fond of your content, somewhat obsessed with you to the point where they would just love the idea of being with you, right? They would love the idea of being with you and they will do everything that they can. They'll slide in your DMs, send you direct messages in your Facebook or whatever social media platform you use. And they will just like, oh my God, if you're ever in the area, please come see me. Now, my biggest fear is one of these young ladies taking advantage of me in my vulnerable state and then trying to run back, tell my wife about it. You see, I'm human, right? I'm fucking human, right? Hit you with the Donald Trump, fucking human. But all jokes aside and things like that, fame is a hell of a drug. A, being popular, hell of a drug. B, and when you turn it on, there's really no way to turn it off because genuinely all eyes are on you. Take, for example, this teacher in the United States. And of course, this video hits different because A, I am a teacher. B, I like to travel too, right? And trust me, every guy who I know likes to travel, likes to engage in having a little bit of fun when they're abroad. Hopefully with people of age, right? I would pray that you would hopefully do it with somebody of age, but unfortunately, this man here by the name of I got the video here. His name is Luke Rockwell, and he has been accused of passing along some sick over to a young lady, underage young lady, we'll just say that. And I got the article here. I want to read through it real quick, and I'm gonna leave it in the description area below so that you guys can read it to yourself. This comes courtesy of Fox News, ladies and gentlemen, and it just recently came out. Shout out to my father for sharing this with me. An American teacher who has over 1 million followers on TikTok is accused of having sex with a 16-year-old fan in Thailand, the Thai police say. So my man traveled halfway around the world, ladies and gentlemen, and I know I'm not lumping passport brethren into this, but I'm basically saying it's not uncommon for a lot of guys to seek companionship overseas. Just make sure they're fucking of age, okay? But basically, Florida resident Luke Rockwell, who was only 29 years of age, younger than me, was arrested in Bangkok on Saturday. He is also accused of passing along the sick or some STDs onto the girl. And he set his TikTok account to private after being arrested. Because trust me, one thing about fame is as quick as they love you, they could turn around and hate on your ass just as fast, right? So that's another thing about being famous, y'all. They love you one minute, they hate you the next. And trust me, being accused of something like this, honestly, I don't care if it's true or not. This is some shit you can't come back from. I don't care what they say, right? Even if you didn't mean it, even if, for whatever reason, even not mean it, but even if it did happen, hypothetically, I'm only doing this hypothetical because I'm pretty sure there's enough evidence that they believe to be accurate enough to be able to say he actually did. But even if it's not, you're always gonna be known as that dude who went to Thailand and gave some young girls STDs, right? It just doesn't change. The narrative about you won't change. It just sucks, right? But going on with the rest of the story, while the age of consent in Thailand is 15, so he wasn't really in the wrong, but if you look at it from the moral high ground or the moral standpoint, ladies and gentlemen, anyone under the age of 18, let's be real, a lot of people are gonna look at you like you're crazy. Even if the age of consent in Thailand is 15, so he really wasn't in the wrong, but you know, from the moral high ground that a lot of people like to hold, he was in the wrong, all right? And I'm not here to argue whether it was right or wrong for him to do that. I'm not here to do that because it's just the fact that he did it, and you know how people feel about it. Being from the United States, from the West, you already know people are gonna always have a problem with it, even if it wasn't technically illegal, right? So the age of consent is 15. It is still against the law to conduct indecent acts with someone between the ages of 15 and 18 outside of marriage. Royal Thai police told the Daily Mail that Rockwell was charged with unlawful sex with a minor and recording the sexual acts. Okay, so this is where things seem to take a very, very twisted fucking turn for this guy. And this is where it's actually gonna get worse because there's video footage courtesy of none other than himself. He fucking snitched on himself, right? Even if it was technically okay for him to be with this young lady in this foreign country, he recorded it and that was what was bad. He recorded it, and that was what really got him in trouble, right? It was the indecent acts of recording it. So if he was just doing this and it wasn't on camera, he would have been fine. This motherfucker dumb, right? Tell you the truth. 1 million followers on TikTok, and you're out here recording. Come on, bro. Why would you want to have evidence of that? Like, come on, man. Never mind. We'll get into that shit later. The police colonel told NBC News that Rockwell was teaching English in the Thai capital when he was arrested. So he was probably one of those English teachers abroad, or one of those TESOL or TEFL teachers of English of a second language, or teachers of English of a foreign language, probably a TEFL. So he was probably in these countries. And I don't know if you guys know this, but in Japan, these English teachers really do not have a great rap. And this shit right here kind of just solidifies why they really don't have the best of views, or the idea of them in these countries are not great, right? They come to the country, a lot of people say in Japan they don't like them because, and I'm not sure, this is just what I've been hearing lately, that they get a bad rap because they come to the country, they really like half-ass or slack on their job, but yet still they're in the country to have fun, turn up and party and do like that. So they're pretty much like the party boys, or the guys that get out there and deal with a bunch of girls. You already know what it is, that type of energy, but they don't really take their work seriously. And you know, I've been in Japan, lived in Japan for a little bit, and they're really a serious culture, right? Like, if I'm gonna pay you to do something, I want you to do it, and I want you to do it the best of your ability. Don't half-ass it. This ain't like a laissez-faire type of energy that you may get in the United States, where you can get on a job and fucking half-ass it or bullshit and still get paid. These people want you to show up and execute at a high level because they're paying you to do such, right? And Japan don't play with that, right? They're a very serious culture. So he coming in the game, and this is kind of what, you know, the energy is, right? It's kind of like not necessarily good energy, okay? So he was a English teacher in the Thai capital, and that was where he was arrested. The girl's mother told NBC, the girl that he was reported having these acts with, told NBC News that her daughter met Rockwell in March shortly after she turned 16. The two reportedly had protected sex the first time, but Rockwell allegedly ditched the protection after persuading her that he was clean. Damn. We're gonna leave it at that. When the girl started experiencing pain and showed signs of having an STD, she admitted the relationship to her mother. The hospital confirmed the infections to her family, and police soon procured a warrant for Rockwell's arrest. Disturbingly, the victim's mother told NBC that Rockwell secretly filmed the pair's sexual encounters. So not only did he pass along some sick over to the young lady, he recorded it and did so in a secret way. So basically, at this point in time, he did so without this girl's knowledge and consent, which makes it 20 times worse. It's different if you just pull the camera out and you having fun again. I'm not worried about the age right now, but y'all know that plays a part into it. But it's different if you're having a consensual relationship and you just pull the camera out, you and the young lady having some fun and shit. That's different. But if you secretly recorded it and all that shit, that becomes a problem, especially when she is the age that she is. And secondly, she, like I said, it's unbeknownst to her that this is happening. This brother's about to probably get thrown underneath the jail, but let's continue. He said, I was shocked and it gave me a big punch in the chest. I was filled with sorrow and anger when I found out that he did that to her daughter. That's what the mother said. The police could not find him on Friday, so they asked if the daughter could lure him out for a meeting, and we did that together with the police presence while she texted him, and that's how he was arrested on Saturday. So basically, they couldn't find him, used the young lady to get him out of hiding of sorts, and that was how they were able to arrest this particular gentleman. Now, that's the end of the article, but let's get real for a second. Gentlemen, I have often been critical of people who travel abroad, specifically for the women. I've often been critical of guys who choose to flirt along the lines of dealing with women of certain age groups, right? Because you're playing with fire. A, you're not a local. Let's make sure we make that abundantly clear. You're the foreigner man, right? The rules that apply for the locals, in my personal opinion, do not apply to you, right? It may say the age of consent is 15, 16, but if you're willing to push that fucking envelope, you gotta understand the hellfire that you're opening up if people were to find out about it, okay? And you can sit there and advocate all day long. Well, it's the age of consent, bro. It's the age of consent. I didn't do anything wrong. You gotta understand, your audience, this is if you famous and you a celebrity TikToker, right? Your audience ain't gonna always see it that way. And I'm telling you, you are almost digging yourself a grave that you'll never get out of, right? I tell people all the time, there's two things in the Philippines that you don't do. If you don't mess with these two things, you good. You don't mess with drugs and you don't mess with kids. If you do away with that, you should have a relatively decent life in the Philippines. If you don't mess with drugs or you don't mess with the children, you good to go, right? I think that your life would be, somewhat comfortable. I'm not gonna sit there and say it's gonna be perfect, right? Because bad shit can happen at any time. But you playing around with fire when you're dealing with those two particular things. So this man having a face, having a fucking audience, and people knowing him when he probably goes out. If you have 1 million subscribers, chances are you go out, you hit the street, people might know you, right? Maybe in Thailand, I don't know if you're popular specifically in Thailand. I don't know where these millions of followers come from, but if hypothetically you are popular in just Thailand alone, when you go out on these streets, ladies and gentlemen, people gonna know you. They gonna see you like, oh, that's that English teaching guy. Hey, oh my God, oh my God, I love you. Can I take a picture with you and shit like that? And you're gonna do it. So you a famous face. So it's almost as if you took your fame and whatever little money you was making off TikTok, I hope you were able to monetize your fame. That's pretty much what I believe all YouTubers, TikTokers, and things like that want to be able to do, monetize their fame. If you were able to monetize it and you were making decent money and it was helping you to survive and sustain a life overseas, aside from your English teaching gig, you can almost kiss that check goodbye. Because chances are, TikTok may or may not cancel your account. It depends on if they are aware of what it is that you're accused of. If you didn't post anything on the website that would be something that would be illegal or against their rules and regulations, if you didn't post anything, chances are they may not touch the account, but you turning it private, you did that for a reason because you knew the backlash that would come. Smart move, but dumb move at the exact same time. I'm saying it was a smart move because you know what you're gonna face, but it was dumb because you shouldn't have put yourself in that position in the first place. That's all I'm gonna say. Because it would be one thing, and I'm not saying this because it's gonna sound rude, but I'm not saying it to be rude. I'm just gonna say it to say it. But it's not uncommon, nor is it something that's like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. If you were to catch an STD or, technically you had to catch it before you gave it to somebody. So you're probably dealing with some young ladies that are not safe themselves, which gave it to you, and you're over here spreading it to other people. Craziness. So I'm assuming that you were probably out there on a red light district getting you in, having your little fun and shit, thinking that you was safe and whatnot. Then your shit and your PP started burning and shit. You decided, oh, I ain't gonna get that fixed, even though you can buy some Zithromax over the counter. That is a highly potent antibiotic, just in case you didn't know, to clean yourself up. But you thought it was a great idea to fucking pass it on to people. And that, my friends, is crazy. That is fucking crazy. And that is fucked up. And that is where you are going to forever be known as the guy who slept with underage women and gave them STDs, right? Who's going to want to fuck with you now? Who's going to want to support you now? This right here to me is the downfall of fame. And when I say fame, that's TikTok fame, right? 1 million followers. Fame, in whatever capacity you look at it. That right there is the downfall, right? You think you're invincible, but you're not. You think you can get away with anything, but you can't. Because eventually what is in the dark will soon come to light. And who knows if she was the only girl you ever slept with, right? Hopefully nobody comes out the woodwork talking about, oh my God, he gave it to me too. Because now you're just adding to your fucking list of problems. And again, you wonder why I struggle with the idea of fame and celebrityhood and all that stuff. Not necessarily because I'm gonna be out here giving STD to, people. It's just the fact that your life is no longer your life, right? Your life is lived in the public eye, social media eye, right? Or whatever. So you think that this was gonna stay dark for long? No, sir. Not even close. I knew that I know for a fact, if you're involved in anything like that, you can't keep up that act for very long and people not know about it. I don't care if you're in fucking Thailand or not, right? Trust me. I know a lot of people who have tried to keep, even people who ain't even famous, try to keep that shit to themselves. It wasn't gonna happen. You feel me? It's not gonna happen. But I think that anybody who chooses fame as an option should definitely keep this in the back of their mental, because again, you are one video away from becoming a household name. You are one viral video away. And if you have a back catalog like I do, 1,000+ videos, and people can go back and look at them, hey, guess what, man? I would be glad for that to happen to me. But then again, I struggle with the idea because I'm too private, right? I like to be out in these streets, man. I like to be in Davao after dark, right? Manila after dark. I ain't talking about no AC, but I like to hang out, right? I like to be out in these streets because I can, right? But when you're famous and stuff, you gotta hold yourself to a different standard, and you gotta be on top of your shit. This guy literally just let it all fall apart, and his life was ruined because he opted to deal with some underage females. And it wasn't so much that they were underage, but it was the fact that they were underage, because that wasn't the illegal part. It was the simple fact that he recorded it and was passing along some sick to these young ladies, right? I think honestly, the video recording would have probably just gone out the way had it not been that he hurt this young lady and got her sick. That is crazy. There's no coming back from that. You purposefully did it because you knew you had it. Don't sit there and lie, talk about, oh, my herpes, my syphilis, and all that shit was dormant. I ain't know I had. Come on, bro. Let me stop this video before it goes any longer. If you have anything you want to share with me, please feel free to tap into the good doc at MikeThePI@gmail.com. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Spend my time, effort, and energy. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.